Welcome back to the Do Good Show, everyone. It is October the 9th. We have a gorgeous day outside. It finally feels like fall. Temperatures are going down, vibes are high, and I just got a 4-mile run in. I'm feeling pretty good. I had a sinus infection for freaking like 6 weeks, which has had me down, but just got through 6 weeks. I just got through 10 days of antibiotics and finally feel like a normal human being. And so this episode, we are bringing back Blake Salyer to the show. We just got through CreatorCon, which was on September 24th and 25th. And so Blake and I are going to have a little chat, just recapping the 2 days and talking about sort of all the planning that led up to CreatorCon. It kind of like goes by so fast. We plan all year for it, and it goes by like that. But we had a super great turnout. It was an awesome event. And, obviously I want to thank all the sponsors, the volunteers. Big shout out to UVA Wise and Opportunity Southwest Virginia for being our presenting sponsors again this year. And our visionary sponsors, VIPC, which stands for Virginia Innovation Partnership Corporation, as well as Virginia Tourism. We could not do this event if it wasn't for you all. So we really, really appreciate it. And, right after the event, I come home, I decompress for like a day, but I've got so many ideas while, this event is fresh on my mind. And I've already sort of like mapped out an agenda, which sounds crazy for 2026. So I'm diving into that. We're going to get ahead of the game a little bit more this year with planning, which we were a lot more prepared this year than we have been in the last 2 years. But you better believe that next year is going to be bigger and better. So I've got a recap video that I'm going to play for you right now. Hang on for 3 minutes, and then we're going to bring Blake on the show. So let's play the recap video that I just edited. Big shout out to my buddy Isaac Dill at Founders Forge for capturing a lot of the footage for CreatorCon. The content is so important, and I care so much about capturing all of it. And Isaac came in the clutch with capturing a lot of this footage. And so thank you, Isaac. And also Founders Forge, which Blake and I talk a little bit about this in this episode, but they have an event coming up in November called the Startup Mountain Summit. So make sure to go check that out, startupmountainsummit.com for more info on that. It's a great startup and entrepreneur event that happens in Johnson City. So if you want to come and have a good old time in Tennessee, come and see us there. If you were at CreatorCon, we highly recommend you going to this event as well. That's enough of me talking. Let's play the clip, and then we'll welcome Blake Salyer to the show. So I want you to scream and yell as loud as you can for the volunteers, UVA Wise, and Opportunity Southwest Virginia. Let's go.
My name is Justin Phelan. I'm from Big Stone Gap, Virginia. I am the founder of Just Adventure Productions. I'm seeking the $5,000 in order to build a mobile production unit for my business to better serve my clients and new clients within Southwest Virginia and the greater Central Appalachian region through video, photo, drone, any kind of digital media.
We talk about ecosystems for small businesses. Well, VFP is part of that ecosystem. Other manufacturers are part of that ecosystem. They got to figure out, if you want the region to thrive, get involved in that ecosystem, right? Somehow, some way. This is the way we're doing it. Our goal is to model it, learn from it, and then take it to other manufacturers.
Hi everyone, my name is Megan Griggs. I am the founder and CEO of Crunchy Hydration, which is a sparkling wellness water on a mission to improve mental and physical health through mindful hydration. Let's get to the point though. I am so excited to be at CreatorCon. This is my first time coming and I'm already having so much fun.
it's just really exciting to see people really proud of what they're making, from here.
Over the past 8 years, we've had someone stay overnight on our spot from all 50 states and from 6 countries.
I really do believe that in the future, these tools are going to just be par for the course, right? Like, you're just going to have to know them. Just like when computers came around, people were like, I don't know, I think paper is probably going to make a comeback, right? Like, generative AI is here, and it's just going to get bigger.
The morals that you learn from this place and the upbringing that you have here, it allows you, it opens doors outside of this place. I hope that you all continue to have events like this. This is what it is. It's creating awareness. I mean, it's not where you are, it's what you're doing. And you can do anything that anyone else is doing right where you are. I was excited when you reached out to me because I was like, wow, I've been to these events before, but I'm happy that this is happening here.
Blake, welcome back to the Do Good Show, my friend.
What's up, Ryan? We're back. It's good to be back.
We're back.
We're after the event.
And we are still alive and we're well.
Yes.
We got through CreatorCon barely. No, not barely. We gladly got through it. It was awesome. 2 days of just jam-packed, full of energy, education, connection, creating. And it was so fun, man. This year was like so different than the past 2 years. I felt like the energy was there. All the content was like amazing. Of course, our keynote speaker was awesome. But what'd you think, dude?
Overall, I left incredibly inspired, like the most inspired I've ever been. I mean, they've all been good every year, but this one was I'm just, like we keep talking about, just keeps getting better, keep elevating it every year. And I think that really happened. And I left incredibly inspired, both by like what was brought from a speaker standpoint, but you just said the energy, enthusiasm, excitement from not only, entrepreneurs in the room, but like even partners and support people, equally excited about it and really excited about the growth of it. There seems to be a lot of great energy out there that's just pushing it forward and excited to see it grow.
Yeah. It was awesome, dude. We always try to elevate it every year. This year we did so much more, even down to like putting centerpieces on the tables in the main stage space. And the Hoova app, man, that was a great addition this year. I got so much good feedback from that. And there was 113 at the event, but there was probably 70 people that downloaded the app and were like in there and active inside of the app. And so like people were, making posts, they were connecting offline, like things that we can't even see, people making connections. But that was cool to see, like people, adapting to that new technology that we added this year, which is like a foreign thing to people. And like, obviously we have like 30,000 apps already, to put on one more app on your phone to use. It can sometimes be a challenge, but people were digging it, man. They loved it. I saw some like additional posts. So like Hoova will send you out like a graphic that has like your profile picture on it and stuff and show where you're at on the leaderboard. And like people are posting on social media from that using the graphics that Hoova populates. So I thought that was just kind of cool. I don't know what you thought about that, but it's so much easier this year to put everything inside of there, send out announcements. Like I was like literally right before starting a session, like on the main stage, and I was like sending out an announcement on my phone, and it was like so easy.
Yeah, it's really game changer, I think. And that seemed, I don't know what the baseline is, but it seems like that's a pretty good rate of adoption of attendees,
Hmm.
to think that many people were logged on and uh, trying to use it. So, um, and really that was with what it was available to download probably like
2
2 weeks
weeks.
out.
Yeah, like 2
Yeah.
weeks out is when I published
And
it.
and so not only is like all those things you mentioned like a great thing, but even from the coordination standpoint, like logistics standpoint, putting everything in a place like one time, and then it's also already there for those who are going to be registering and like coming into the conference, digitally.
Hmm.
That's pretty helpful, and that you wouldn't really realize unless you're like on the back end doing it, because like you said, in times past we would build all that out. We have an agenda. It's like we go tweak it on the website, but then it changes. You got to go tweak it
Yeah.
again. Then you got to go send out communications to people. Then you got to send out email reminders like individually, or whatever other way you might have set up. But with that, yeah, it's just like put it all there. If it changes, people then will see it in real time. You can send a little message to let them know that it did change if you want, if that's needed. So yeah, for so many reasons,
Yeah.
it was a great thing. And it was cool to see that just, yeah, organically that like there was some of that like already, people trying to connect and use it for what it was.
Yeah. I'm going to be sad whenever people can't use it anymore. I think it goes like 2 months beyond the event or something like that, which is a good
See,
decent amount of time that we can still like communicate with attendees. But
yeah,
um, yeah, it's it was awesome. I can't wait to
there was a
get
lot of
back in there.
untapped things too. I feel like, and it's something we could probably go on about forever. But yeah, there
Yeah,
were a lot of other pieces of it that probably could even be used to even further enhance the
for sure.
experience.
It was almost like this year was like a testing ground for like, are people going to be into using it? Should
Yeah,
we continue to use it? I mean, I think it's worth it just like from a coordination and organizing standpoint
yeah,
because it made my life so much easier. Um, like you were saying, like doing all the edits on the website, sending emails, like all that stuff. It just happens in Hoova. I embedded the code in my website. It populates it there already. Like it was so easy to use. But yeah, when people are not going to be able to be in there and connect anymore, it's going to be like, oh man, I wish we had something else, which is something I've been thinking about and working on, as you know, Blake. But
okay, yeah.
um, yeah, it was cool to see that many people in there. But Hoova app, hell yeah.
Yeah, man, that's good.
So this year, I don't know, everything just felt so much smoother, and I think it's probably obviously we've learned a lot in these last 2 years of doing this. And we've always like made like minor changes and stuff like that, and this year I think we were more prepared than any other year. And
Hmm.
moving the pitch battle and the welcome reception back together again. I mean, I thought that was great.
Yeah, I agree. Overall, there was a lot more flow, which was great. Like the main day, I guess, which I think was due to learning, how you have to, kind of take the time to think through like all the transitions and details like that. But I 100% agree, yeah, with the pitch battle and welcome reception, which for me was really one of the top highlights of the whole thing. So that's something that's like ideally that shouldn't change. If anything, going forward, it was good.
Yeah. I thought the event space was good for that. Pitching in the theater is awesome.
Oh yeah.
But it's not as conducive for the space for food and stuff like that. So we had to make a change because of that. But I got great feedback. We had more participation at the pitch battle and welcome reception than we've had in the past 2 years. I
Hmm.
think it's something we've always been battling with and trying to figure out. But
Yeah, I was, and I don't know if we spend too much time talking about it right now, but the the variety of pitches though I think was really great. Like we had
mhm.
some like really interesting pitches. It was almost like in maybe like in pairs, like one or two that were like kind of tech focused, high growth. Then you had like two that
Yeah.
was a little bit more like I'm looking at like a regional market. I'm kind of like a service based business, and then you had two like maybe like hyper local like type of businesses. And I don't know if that was the exact split, but it felt kind of like that. And so I don't know. I think there's potential there. It's like now that we've kind of getting the legs under it, is there even a next step on how to amplify like what type of stage and business that pitch competition really needs to elevate? I think
Yeah.
we could really dial that in. But yeah, it was just overall a really great thing.
Yeah, and it's encouraging to see that there's just like young people thinking about starting companies. Like we had a few students that had already, they've started companies while they were in school, or they're in school now, and they're working on a business. Like, and when they graduate, this one guy came all the way from Pulaski County to pitch. He's going to Virginia
Yeah,
Tech currently, but
yeah,
his company and product was awesome. I think if he was a little bit further along, he probably would have been a good candidate for the winner. But um, I mean, don't sleep on this guy, because his product that
no,
he's creating with I, I I can't remember exactly what the company was called, but essentially he's using AI technology to turn a video from like football practice. He was a big football guy, to turn the football practice into like a 3D 3D version of the practice using AI, and then it would spit out information for the coaches and the players, which is
yeah.
which is
So I
crazy to
mean,
think about, like a 19 or 20-year old building something like that.
yeah, I took away was like instead of watching game film, essentially you get to simulate it and react to it like in a VR like situation, and so you can like your level of preparation for a team or a matchup is like exponentially higher.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to follow up with him actually. I, I just thought it was cool. So um, he saw the WCYB interview, and
Right? Yeah,
that's why he applied. So I always battle with this. Like, I go on a lot of these regional news stations like several times throughout the year, and I'm
yeah.
always like, does that really reach the people that we're trying to reach? But it obviously worked, because that's exactly what he told me. He's like, I watched your
Same.
interview with Preston at WCYB, and that's why I applied. And I was like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, dude.
May Maybe you didn't see it live on like the 6 o'clock news, but he probably saw like a video on the internet or something of it. I don't know.
Well, I think here's what happened. I think his mom or grandma or something like that saw it, and
That's
then
great.
they figured out how to copy a link and share it to him, and so that's how that's how he got
That's perfect, man.
it.
That's awesome.
I thought the basketball player's pitch was good. Man, he was super well spoken, from Canada.
Oh
UVA
yeah,
wise
like
basketball player. His pitch was he's going to be a great storyteller. I'll tell you that.
yeah, from polished pitch standpoint, like he was top notch,
Yeah, we
100%.
had somebody pitch for the second time. We had Colton pitch his business again, which is like a healthy foods type option for basically focusing on athletes, right?
Yeah, yeah, started, which was cool to see his growth. So the first year he pitched, which was last year, he only had like one trailer stand, and then now he's expanded. I think he at least has a full, or it started as just like a smoothie bowl, like trailer, and then now he's got like a full service truck that does all of that, plus like these healthy bowls, like power food bowls with it, and so he's expanding into like multiple units to kind of like do this. I don't know if he said he wants to get into like the franchise model, but at least a multi-location type of deal.
Yeah, I think he actually
It's
pitched the
cool.
first year. I think he pitched the first year, and then took a break maybe, and then came back this year. Anyways, awesome. And we had a food truck win last year. So Colton,
Yeah,
keep pitching, dude.
yeah, man.
And then the girl, gosh, where was she from?
Big
She had a
Stone,
Big Stone. That's
Max
right.
Music.
We had
Yeah,
two Big Stone businesses in the pitch competition this year. She was a music. She has a music store, Big Stone Gap. She's doing like a lot of educational things and doing some cool stuff for the community there. So it was pretty cool to see her. And I thought she did great too.
Yeah, I did too.
So then, you know, after the pitch happens, you know, Blake and I set all this stuff up earlier in the day. Nobody really sees what he and I do. He and I do like, you know, during the event. But oh man, is it a lot of work? So we earlier that day, so we were hanging out at the Nest, which is the UVA Wise Entrepreneurship House, hanging out there, doing some prep and, you know, practicing our bit for the main day. Blake's doing some last minute stuff for the ecosystem launch. I can't remember all the things we were doing. I've got them written down, but so anyways, we go in the meantime, we like take a break, we go set up the pitch battle stuff, and then come back to the Nest House. And then after the pitch battle, we go to the main session stage or the main session
Yeah.
location. We take down everything that night of the pitch battle and move it all over to the convocation center, set all that stuff up to get ready for the main session day. And Blake and I don't really get in bed until probably after midnight because there's still so many like little things left to do, but they're little, but they are like super important. Like I'm doing like last minute run of show things for the production team, you know, for UVA Wise, and making sure we have good transitions and walk up songs. And we got everybody's slides, which we don't always have everybody's slides until like they right before they give presentations. But anyways, it's just like madness for a couple
Yeah.
days.
Yeah, it is a little crazy. I think each year I've learned how slowly but surely we could do some things a little earlier, which we'll do as we can. But yeah, there's no doing earlier the takedown of you know, some signs, banners, and stuff, and then having to, you know, set it up in a different space and make sure that space looks good, and at least get you ahead. So when you roll in super early the next morning, at least some things are done.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that was no getting around that. Late night, early morning for sure going into it. But um, you know,
Yeah.
appreciative that the day of we got some great hands that come in and help kick things off there. But yeah, it's a lot of late night, a couple like late nights, like every moment of the day is pretty much full for those few days in a row there.
Yeah. And shout out to all the sponsor booths and creator booths because they were not actually able to set up anything until like the main session day. So we usually give people enough time the day before to set up. But this year they had so many like practices happening in the space, like basketball, volleyball. We weren't able to get in there until later that late evening. And by that time, I think we had maybe one booth that set up. But yeah, everybody, I think sponsor booths and creator booths, they got there between 7 and 8 to set up all their stuff. So early day for them as well. And
Yeah.
my day usually starts at about 6 a.m. and I don't sleep or don't go to bed until like 1 a.m. the night before. Um, I'm always like printing stuff, going to the Nest House, like, you know, whatever.
Which
But
is an adequate amount of sleep for having to present and talk to people on stage the whole day, right?
yeah, yeah. Let's see how many I did. I ran three sessions, moderated 3 sessions. So yeah, but it was all great because the 3 people I interviewed, they were great at keeping the conversations going. And I had, you know, I had printouts, I had my notes, I was prepared
Yeah.
still, you know.
Energy was still high. You couldn't tell. You couldn't tell there was only a few hours of sleep.
And I was
Fueling that.
battling, dude, battling a sinus infection. I'd been sick for like 5 weeks and I just could not figure out what was going on. And I didn't go to the doctor until after CreatorCon, and turns out I had a sinus infection. So I've been on antibiotics for the last 10 days and I just finished up yesterday. So I'm feeling a little better. Still sound a little stuffy, but you know, the crud is pretty well gone. I feel like a normal human being.
Glad to hear that. Because
Yeah.
yeah, throw that in the mix of everything else. That's pretty tough.
All right. So it's the morning of the main session day. Blake and I are doing some like running around. We're talking to the media team. We're making sure Annie's good. Shout out Annie for all her help the few days of CreatorCon and, you know, sitting on our committee too. But then it comes like we're just kind of waiting around on when to play the opening video. And so, you know, we say that we're going to start promptly at 9 o'clock, but a lot of attendees, they don't get there until a little after 9. So we just, you know, always give a little bit more time. But at around 9:30, opening video plays, and it is just like go time. And it is just like surreal of like, oh my gosh, you know, we've done this all year long planning, and here it is.
Yeah.
It's about to begin.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's how it feels. Because yeah, once it does take off, it's kind of nonstop. I mean, you might feel like you get a minute if there's a session going on that you don't, directly like moderate or are a part of. You might feel like you got a moment there, but really, probably in that time, you're probably looking ahead at like another session that you are involved with or
Mm-hmm.
teeing up. So, yeah, once it starts, it's like it's a train. It's going to keep rolling, and
Yeah.
let's try to keep it on the tracks.
Yeah. And we always do this like opening bit to where uh we sort of catch people off guard or like try to get the energy going a little bit more. First year we had the wood booger pop out and we played like a hype song for the wood booger to dance to. Second year, we played a song and had like a little activity. This year I thought was amazing.
It was
We
great.
had so I was giving the welcoming speech and was like suddenly interrupted to make everybody believe that we had technical difficulties. And so then when the beat dropped, Taylor Swift, the mascot Smitty from UVA Wise ran out, and then the chancellor ran out after that. And she gave the rest of the opening remarks, which she is so cool, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And was so just like gracious, like waiting around for the right moment to start. Cause like we didn't want to do that without, a good healthy amount of people in the room. So it was worth the wait. And I'm glad we did, because by that time we finally got everybody in the room, or at least the
Yeah.
majority. And yeah, it felt really good.
Room was pretty full at that time. And what I didn't know what they were going to do, like they dimmed the lights and stuff, and they were playing like had like lights flashing and stuff like that. From what I
I did not
recall,
even catch that.
it's a little bit blurry, but it kind of felt like, you know, a basketball game to where the lights go down and the announcers
Yeah.
like announcing the starting five, you know.
Oh
Uh,
man.
she's running out. She has a suit on and wearing Nike kicks, which was so good. And the Man by Taylor Swift, so fitting
Yeah.
for her to run
Perfect
out to
song.
that. Perfect song.
I mean, to even push it further, like recommended by the chancellor, sort of like, hey, we want to play an upbeat song. We know you like Taylor Swift. Is there one that
Yeah.
you like? And she's like, yeah, I got this. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, that's perfect.
So we have her like hanging out in the hallway of the visitors locker room, and so nobody sees her because we want it to be a surprise, right?
Yeah, and the mascot too, right? Keep
Yeah.
him keep him hidden.
mascot mascot was great. We actually had a meeting with the mascot, I think at like 8 a.m. to make sure he understood the bit because he didn't actually know anything really about it until we met with him. So he was great. It was so
Yeah.
energetic and was excited to do it. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's all I have to do? Sweet."
I love hearing that, but did a great job. Yeah, and I guess we can't reveal their identity. I
We
guess we already
can't.
said it was he, but
Eh,
that's all you
Was
get.
it a he? I don't know. You know. Hey y'all, sorry to interrupt this episode, but I wanted to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Opportunity Southwest Virginia. Opportunity Southwest Virginia is the supporting organization for founders and entrepreneurs in Southwest Virginia. If you are somebody that is looking to start or grow a company in Southwest Virginia and you're wondering who to get connected with, where do I go? They're the first one that you call or get connected with. So go to opportunityswva.org and get connected with them today so you can start growing your adventure in business. You just don't know. Nobody
You'll never
knows who,
know.
nobody will ever know who we selected to be our
I don't know
Smitty.
if that person will ever do that again. They definitely weren't, a regular mascot person. So you may never know.
Nobody will ever know. It was actually Blake. Blake was Smitty. But how were you Smitty, Blake, when you were on the stage? Just
I
kidding.
mean, yeah, it's like, I guess you did see us in the same place at the same time. So makes it hard, but
Anyways, it was totally, she was high fiving the high school students. And then she came up and said some really nice stuff um, about the conference and the importance of it and, how they're glad to support it from UVA wise. So that was really, really cool.
yeah.
And it helped me like get through that because it gives me energy, right? So like I'm the host and MC of the event, and so like it gave me some energy to like get up there and do my best job, and definitely more energy than last year. And we had this table of Wise County Technical Center students that were like going nuts,
Yeah.
like right in front of me, and so that table, seriously, it got me fired up, dude.
Yeah. They set the tone, man. Like and it was in a very healthy way. Like it was perfect. They were just like engaged and excited. It was great.
Yeah, they were being high school students,
Yeah.
but they were getting people fired up, getting me fired up. And I was, when I prompted people to do something like screaming out for the sponsors or whatever, I'm like, I want everybody to have the same energy as this table right here.
That's
So
right.
it was great to have something to point to. And I thought
Yeah.
they were awesome. We had, how many schools do we have? We had John Alberton, Wise County Technical. We had Ridgeview. I don't want to leave anybody out. That might be the only three we had this year.
I guess 3 ended up, yeah, being able to make it happen.
Yeah. But I think that's going to continue to grow because some of the schools, they just frankly didn't know about it. And, we do a bunch of outreach and stuff like that. But I think, we just got to get ahead of it a little bit more for the school system. And we do it kind of like in September. So the schools, obviously they don't come back into session until like late August or mid
Yeah.
August. And for them to get like a field trip sort of thing approved in a short amount of time is sometimes tough. But the ones that have came, it's like pretty easy for them to get the approval. And so we just got to get Union, we got to get Castlewood, we got to get, these other schools that had reached out. They
Yeah.
just couldn't get approval in time.
Yep. Yep. Definitely can room for growth there, especially getting the right students in the room. It's a good thing.
Yeah. And I think it's so important that we have the students there, whether, they stay and start a company or, move on and do something else. It's important that high school students are exposed to things like that so they know that entrepreneurship can be a career path. Because a lot of times, I think we talked about this in the ecosystem launch, when you were in high school, how many
Mm-hmm.
educators or how many people told you that you could have a career in entrepreneurship and create your own thing. um,
Yeah.
and how many people are telling you like, hey, when you graduate, go get a state job because you're going to be set for the rest of your life. um,
Yeah.
and so what we came to find out is like it's not very common for people to say like, hey, entrepreneurship is a career path. So
And it's even less common to hear people tell you whatever your big idea is, you can do it here. So
yeah,
when I say here, rural Appalachia. So
right,
it's like, yeah, let's continue to. That's our overarching message, like every year, right? I think is that what you want to do, you can do it here more than likely. There
yeah,
might be other things that you factor in depending on what industry, but yeah, we can do it here. There's reasons to do it here. There's people to support you doing it here. So
yeah,
I love that message was still at the forefront, and that's what we need students to grasp, because it's like all the people I talk to who are now in their 30s, 40s, maybe they made it back to the area, but after leaving, they're like, yeah, nobody was telling me this stuff when I was in high school. So
yeah,
like we're trying to change that.
yeah. And Thomas Jones, he kind of alluded to some of that too. Like, hey, you can do whatever you want wherever you are. It doesn't matter. He's like, It's not where you are, it's what you're doing." And so I thought his message was great for young people in the room, but also for anybody else that is like looking for inspiration or motivation to just keep going. Um,
Yeah, agreed. And I love that, like, he touched on the uniqueness of our experience in Appalachia, how it's such an advantage because of
mhm.
the story and the story you have, the personality and the like character you develop, like so many things he shared that like he just credited to his upbringing and like the area that he's from.
Yeah,
I wholeheartely believe he meant it. It was authentic, and that, and I also agree that it's true as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Thomas was great, and we got to chat with him some in the green room before. He had his wife and kids with him. They were just like such cool people,
Oh yeah.
and just so down to earth. And he, he's just a normal guy, you know, making movies, has companies. He's an investor, and he is just a go getter, man. And I think that, a lot of these people that have gone off from Appalachia, they're celebrities, or they have a, whatever, they've had a great professional career. Um, and let's say they moved to LA or whatever, like he did. There's a lot of those people that still care a whole lot about home, about Appalachia, but there's sometimes they just don't know how to get involved, or they don't know who to speak to. They don't know where to start. They want to do something, but they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I thought that was having Thomas involved now is a great starting point for like everybody else that has gone on to be a success from Southwest Virginia or Appalachia. And he has got such a huge network of people now, and was like so into the event, like the whole thing. I think that is going to make this event just grow even more. And shoot, I don't know, maybe he becomes a board member or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just like spitballing here, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that we can do because Thomas Jones is there this year.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and it was really awesome to get to meet him personally and spend a little bit of time just chatting. I mean, we were just, ended up going back to just like talking about, you know, his time here, how long it had been since he'd really been back, and how some things, are exactly the same, but then there's also some really exciting changes that, he got to experience, even just being on like UVAY's campus and seeing the growth
Yeah.
in and around it. And then yeah, that's what actually caught me off guard, was his just genuine excitement for what was happening with CreatorCon and like
Hmm.
what we've been able to pull together. Because he talked about like, yeah, there's things like this, maybe not exactly like it, but similarly that he's maybe went to himself or maybe seen in LA or seen in the cities he's been to. But he's like, oh, this is happening here. And yeah, this is the message that we need to be sending here,
Yeah.
because I was here, and I see why this is so important to do um, in this area. So yeah, I firmly believe like he's in it to support, even ongoing, which
Yeah.
is, I think, is really exciting and could really help in so many ways.
Yeah. Just him being involved is going to help, Um, yeah, I think I asked him a question of like, what do you hope to see like for the growth of Appalachia? Like, what do you actually want to see happen? Um, and he was like, I hope that you continue to do events like this, because
Yeah.
this is important that you do things like this and do it here. Um, and was so happy that things like this were happening in Appalachia. And that gave me some like validation too. Because you kind of go through that every year. It's like, okay, is this event, is it adding value? Are people getting value out of this? What can we do next year for people to get more value? But I got like sort of validated by him saying that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you shared that. Because yeah, I think we wrestle with that a lot, right? In this world of, we know, people want to see growth and want to have the resources to like pursue their dreams in entrepreneurship, and but you can get discouraged sometimes in the work because the numbers can just be few sometimes, just because of
Mm-hmm.
sheer population or the just the amount of people interested. So to to hear that, I'm with you. That's really a great thing. But fuel to the fire a little bit, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And it's hard for us to like track what happens after CreatorCon and like the
Yeah,
connections that are being made at CreatorCon. Like there's just no way for us to track that really. I mean, we can see it in the Hoover app, some of the activity and people, chat with each other, but people come there, they want to connect with people. They either get resources, maybe they're, an entrepreneur that meets another entrepreneur. They stay in connection together, and someday they might create a new thing or a new product or a new company together. Even some of the ecosystem partners, they might create something new for either their organization or they might start a side hustle and have their own company as well. So it's like hard for us to track all that, but we know those things are happening.
yeah, yeah. That's the really where it does become difficult, but I mean you have to push like equally as hard to say how important it is. Like we got to keep doing it.
You can't do nothing.
No,
That's a
yeah,
double.
that's definitely not the.
That's a double negative. You can't do nothing. Put that on a shirt.
Got to do something. Yeah. But even like it's like bringing someone like Thomas Jones in, even it's like hard to track that impact of like what kind of um, just positive reinforcement and like positive just energy that brings to the people that were in that room, and how that even affects their confidence going forward with whatever
Mm-hmm.
they currently are working on or have yet to start. um, and then you factor that in with, does that ever lead to he himself or others at his level looking at our area more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just like there's so many ways that it just benefits that are almost really just impossible to calculate.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a high school student sitting there listening to Thomas may have gotten inspired, might keep that inspiration locked up for 10 years. They go to college, they go off somewhere, then they move back home. And then they just like, oh, I remember what Thomas Jones said at that event. And I think I'm going to start something. And then they
Yeah,
go
like
off, they, start a company and they give back to their community.
yeah, and then that one event like could have put something in their mind that even if they did go away, they ended up finding their way back, like after college or whatever, and made a life here, which wasn't isn't happening quite yet at the rate we hope. So it's just like you can't. There's really no way to track it, but
Mm-hmm.
I believe that that's definitely going to happen. Like I would almost bet money on it that at
Mm-hmm.
least one person in that room is going to have a different opinion, or a different like just feeling about what
Mm-hmm.
where they could end up at
Yeah.
the end of or on their journey.
I can't remember the student's name, but he has came the last maybe he's been there the last 2 years. But he's a Ridgeview High School student, and he's like already working on a company and a product while he's in high school. And he's been
Yeah.
at CreatorCon since the beginning, and he keeps coming back. And he's probably getting new information every time he comes, or new inspirations or motivation or something like that. So even if that one kid starts and creates a company, and let's say he creates 5 jobs because of that company, that's a success.
Yeah, it is a huge one. I mean, that's like huge. So yeah, and to think that that can happen pretty good scale. If it continues to grow, and you continue to get the buy-in from other schools, and really talented groups of students coming in, or just ambitious in general.
Yeah. I thought Steve Jones at the ecosystem launch, that's a part of the event that I always like, because we get kind of down and dirty with some of like the gaps we have a lot of organizations in the room. We also have entrepreneurs in the room. It's a small, tight group of people, but it's all the right people in that room. It's organization leads, people that are doing economic development, and they are the directors of the department, or they're,
Yeah.
it's the right people in that room. And then you have entrepreneurs at the table too. And that's the whole point, is to get all those ecosystem pillars inside of that room so you can actually make change. And so this year we talked about ecosystem mapping and talent retention. We had Steve Jones talk about VFP and the innovation challenge that started because of the ecosystem launch last year. And I thought that was a great segment. And I loved what he said toward the end of the segment, was like, we're going to do this. And if you're a manufacturer and you're not a part of the small business ecosystem, like, you need to be involved in the small business ecosystem. Like, we're going to do this, we're going to learn from it, we're probably going to fail, but once we get it dialed in, we're going to take this to other manufacturers and say, hey, you all should be doing this. And
Yeah.
so that's going to be huge for a new startup to be created and new innovations to happen because of that collaboration with VFP. So they're bringing a challenge and a problem to the community, and then we're going to have entrepreneurs pitch the idea to sort of solve that problem for them locally, which is so cool.
Yeah. And I agree definitely with the point you made about the right people being in the room, um, because I think when you try to venture down the path of doing something like that, and actually being effective at it, can be really tough. Because I mean, you've been in the rooms just as much as I have,
Yeah.
where you bring who you think are the like support organizations, the community leaders and whatnot, and you think you have everybody in the right room or the right meeting, but then it's just like so easy for those meetings to like go way off course. People,
Oh, for
start talking
sure.
about their own things, their own agendas, their own bias and beliefs of like what our area can and can't do. And so fortunately, and that's what I'm so excited about, is like that space has been really good. Like, and I think it's because it's been the right segments. So it's like the right organization leaders. Well, I won't say like the right ones, but like the right amount of like
Mm-hmm.
support organizations, community organizations, entrepreneurs themselves. Yeah, I think we could like add a few more people in the mix, but as long as like that ratio's right,
Mm-hmm.
um, like it's resulted in like effective, really effective conversation, to where each time it's felt like there's at least a path forward that that at least a few people are going to start down and try to like implement something new to get the ecosystem that much more robust, which
Yeah.
is like you alluded to, that challenge, that new program spinning out of simply an idea and a conversation, where it opened the eyes to a company leader, a company representative, to say, maybe we're not, doing what we could be to like welcome entrepreneurs
Mm-hmm.
into what our space is, and like work with them. So yeah, that's just some of my thoughts on it, and really stands to be one of my favorite parts of it.
Yeah. And I hope that event just continues to grow, that part of the event. Um, I think it's so important. And we always bring in like speakers from other ecosystems too, that are doing different things than what the Southwest Virginia ecosystem is doing, so people can learn from it. And it's really what I really kind of hope it becomes, is like this, like, it sort of is already, but we have more, obviously we have more people from Southwest Virginia, but we have East Tennessee represented, we have Eastern Kentucky represented. I hope it becomes like a regional Appalachian like ecosystem thing, where people are working together, bridging the gap
Yeah.
between ecosystems, helping each other out, learning from other programs, making connections. The East Tennessee ecosystem has so many more connections to like high growth startups. Like, how can we tap into some of those? Eastern Kentucky's doing some cool programs with Jared Arnett over there. So like, there's a lot of like cross collaboration things that can happen across state lines. I've sort of been the guy to like help facilitate that. But I think that's important too, not just like stay in silo in your own county or town, you know, that's not the best way to approach it, I don't think. Um, so that's just my thoughts.
Yeah. No, that's what's great about it. It's like even though the group's been small, it's like we've had kind of like multi-state like representatives all coming together. Yeah, it's multi-state, but actually we're pretty close in proximity, which is great, and we all can wear that,
Within
Apple
an
Watch.
hour, within an hour of each other,
Yeah,
everybody, which is nuts.
yeah, it's crazy. So it's like, yeah, this should be happening, and this is a great place. Yeah, I'm glad we were able to facilitate that.
Yeah. Vibes are high. CreatorCon, we did it. We work on this like all year long, and it just goes by like that for us. Um, it's kind of
Yeah,
not like when I got done and I was like on my way home, I was like, wow, we just got through another year. It's kind of crazy. And then I took a week to not think about it too much, but just kind of decompress a little bit. And I was working on the recap video and stuff, but it was awesome going back through that recap video and just seeing all the things that we've done in the last 2 days and planned 10 months
yeah,
for, whatever it
yeah,
was.
yeah. That's what's fun. The fun part for sure. And hopefully, I feel like we've got a lot of great content to share. I don't know, like each year we capture great content, but I think every year that we do that better and better, it just makes it that much easier to promote the next year, and
Yeah.
try to get people excited. So it felt really good that, and props to you on that, man, taking the time. That's a lot of thought to make sure cameras are all positioned, especially with like a super lean team, uh,
A
capturing
team
content.
of one, you mean?
Yep. But
No, we
having,
had our buddy from Founders Forge, Isaac Dill, who was
yeah,
he's also on the planning committee this year, who
game changer.
came in the clutch to get all the B-roll content for us, for the 2 days. And then I was even like running cameras during the event from the media team. That was fun. My Black Magic camera, like during the main session day, actually wasn't working for some reason, but we had the backup cameras from the media team from UVAY,
Okay.
so all that content from the sessions was captured.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, the content. I think you said this. I can't remember when you said it, but the content was like almost as important as like the event, because like we have so many things to share, and that's a part of the storytelling to like create
Yeah.
more awareness about what we're doing to get more people involved. And like somebody's going to see a reel or a TikTok or something on YouTube, could be from somewhere totally out, out of state or whatever, that wants to be involved or wants to come and be a part of what we're doing. Uh, Content is key.
It is. It is.
We're making content right now.
Yeah.
We're on camera and making content.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Dude, I think I already sent you this, but like 2 days after the event, I already started thinking about 2026, and I already built like a rough agenda for next year, which is kind of crazy to think about, but I
Oh
think it's
yeah.
good that we're thinking about it a little bit earlier.
And probably good that you at least put a framework right after, because everything's so fresh of like what felt good, and what could be like tweaked. So
Yeah, and
that's good to hear.
we did send out a survey for the first time this year, because Hoova makes it so easy to do a
Mm.
survey. They had pre-built templates. I added some things to it and edited it a little bit, but sent out a survey to everybody. I haven't dove into all the responses yet, but that feedback is key for us to make this event bigger and better every year. And I do think already that people are more into like a shorter amount of time, but high impact and high energy for a shorter amount of time.
Yeah.
Because like later in the day, we have those like, 2 sessions on the main stage at the end of the day, and people by that point, they're either already gone or they're just like, they're tired and ready to go home.
Yeah.
Although
Which
it's like super important, like the message, and
oh yeah,
the
like those
presentation.
sessions
They were
They
great.
could have been first. Like there was no drop off in quality. Like it was across the board, like equally as important to you and your startup. And so yeah, just like packing that in a good way. I mean, we all know attention spans are shrinking by the day, but
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, yeah, we'll do what we can.
Maybe we'll have 100 sessions, but they have got to stay within the 3-minute window, as you would if you were making an Instagram reel.
It's like a live reels feed
Yeah.
all day.
Now there's an idea right there. Could you imagine?
It's
That'd
like
be,
sitting inside your phone.
gosh, that would be
Yeah,
nuts.
that is weird.
But yeah, we're thinking about how we rework it a little bit next year already, how we can keep similar amount of sessions, and yeah, get everybody out of there by maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock. Maybe 2:30 is like the stopping point. But
Maybe.
I love the breakout sessions, man. I really enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Me
think
too.
that part we've got to keep going. And maybe I need to talk to the high schools and see like what's their hard stop of when they have to get out of there. But it's almost like we could do like maybe a shorter lunch or an earlier lunch, send people off to breakout sessions after lunch, clean the tables up, and then bring everybody back to like a main stage like session, and then send people off uh, after that. I don't know. Something to
Yeah.
think about. We'll see what
Yeah.
the committee thinks as well. Debrief meeting. When's that going to be? I got to send an email out.
Yeah.
What is
We need to do it.
it's October, and CreatorCon 2026. You better believe it's coming back. We're gonna, be bigger and better than ever. That's a fact. It's gonna happen. And I'm already thinking about cocktails with creators as well, because that event is solid. That leads up to CreatorCon. So I
Yeah.
want to do a couple more of those next year. And so we'll have a ton of networking. We'll have cocktails, we'll have food, and we'll have like a keynote kind of like conversation. Last year, or not last year, this year was Leighton Hart, which is a content creator and also a content strategist for Turtleson, the company. So I've already kind of thought about who could be speaking next year for those. And I'm excited about that. Bristol Hotel, that place was clutch.
It was great. The
And
format of that was awesome. The conversation was perfect, like perfectly placed. Felt like a great like half networking, half learning thing. And even in the conversation, it still felt like casual and conversational. It was great.
yeah, and I think like Bristol Abingdon area seems to be like a really good location for that type of event to get
Mm-hmm.
people from Eastern Tennessee and Southwest Virginia there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Agreed.
yeah, so it's kind of like we're trying to think about like a central point really to get more people there from other places.
Yeah.
I've said this before, but like entrepreneurs just want to be connected. Like we don't care where they're at. We just want to know other people. We just want to connect. We want to have friends that are, like-minded, doing other things that we're doing. So when we have an issue or a problem, we can go to people and see what they've done before. If it happens to be that this company that we meet or founder, if it happens to be like we're doing business with them now because we met, that's great. But honestly, like I just want to be connected with people, and that's what I crave. Like people doing other stuff that I'm doing. I want to know them. I want to download information from them so I can be better in my company.
Yep. That's it, man.
Dead silence. What else is going on, Blake?
What else? Beyond CreatorCon?
Yeah, what are you doing today? What are you doing next week? What are you doing in OND we call it, October, November, December.
OND, I never heard that.
That's
I
the beverage term. Like when you're in the
yeah,
beverage business, everybody talks
yeah.
about O&D, dude.
See, that's the tidbits that's good. That's good knowledge. I'm trying to do the least, as they say, the least I can get by with, if I'm being honest.
That's great. That's
That's a
great.
great thing to be sharing, I'm sure. But
Yeah, we'll cut
no,
that
I'm
out so Randy doesn't see this.
trying to unplug at least next week, actually. Though seriously, and
Hey,
hit the ground running.
it's still conference season. We've got another conference coming up, Blake.
That is what I'm doing in November. I know what I'm doing. Startup Mountain Summit. I
Startup
plan
Mountain
on being
Summit.
there. So
For those of you that are listening or watching and don't know about the Startup Summit, you should go to startupsummit.com.
I think it's Startup Mountain Summit.
Ooh, yeah, you're right.
.com.
Startupmountainsummit.com. It's in Johnson City. Our buddies from Founders Forge, David Nelson, Isaac Dill, are putting on an epic event for founders and entrepreneurs over in that region. You should go to it. We had a blast last year. This would be our third year. We started our events in the same year, by the way. So CreatorCon started, as well as Startup Mountain Summit in the same year. And I always come away with new connections there, new inspirations. They always have like a different group of speakers than we have, like different topics. This year, Brad Feld is going to be the keynote speaker, and he is like the ecosystem guy. Like he's out in Colorado, Boulder, I think is where he started his thing. He wrote a book called The Startup Community, Blake.
Startup Community, and
I
then
read
like
that book.
Startup Community Way after that.
And his message is like, you got to create a founder led ecosystem. And here are the ways that you can do that. Create space for founders to connect. And what are we doing, Blake? We're creating space for founders to connect. And
Trying to
you're a
find.
founder. I'm a founder. And, we're doing founder stuff. That's what you're
Yeah,
supposed to do when you're, wanting to create a thriving ecosystem. You just got to get involved, find the gaps, and do things that are not being done. And things are going to happen, Blake.
yep. I think they will. So yeah, I go to the Startup Mountain Summit. I'm doing that. Um, yeah, we got a big pitch program, I guess, or like a challenge on campus UVA wise we're trying to get students into, which is pretty cool. It's kind of a new thing. You get students to pitch in this concept stage, and then if they make like the top 20 across like UVA schools, they go into like this Grand Prix stage where they like get points for doing different events and workshops, and then they compete to make it into the launch program in the or in the early spring, and they get to compete for like over 100 grand in prize money for their startup. So it's like some pretty big, large scale like ideas that we're trying to get a couple students down
Very
in the
cool.
pipeline. Yeah,
Very,
it's gonna be
very
cool.
cool. Then, thanks. Halloween's coming up first. That's the first holiday in October. And then Thanksgiving, which is going to be epic. And then Christmas will be here. And, it's crazy that 2025 is almost over. It's like less than 100 days for when we're in 2026. And that's just kind
Yeah,
of like, what? I just got used to writing 2025 down on things that I sign.
seriously,
I
you
mean,
know,
nuts, dude.
nuts,
But
man.
it's going to be epic. And you know what, Blake? I think we're to the end now. I think our attention spans are short. And I think
I
we're,
think we're done.
Colin and Samir call this the, what did they call this in the last part of their episodes? Oh gosh, do you listen to them?
Garbage time. I
Oh,
don't
no.
know.
They call it the deep end.
The
So
deep end.
yeah, if you're somebody that listens to their pod until they get to like the very last segment, they're like, if you're still here, welcome to the deep end.
There we
And
go.
we're in the deep
Deep.
ends. We're in the deep ends. People are still listening. If you're listening right now, thanks. And also, if you are somebody Blake, this is a plug for you. If you are somebody in Southwest Virginia, you're trying to start a company, you're trying to grow a company, you need to contact Blake Salyer at Opportunity Southwest Virginia, because he is going to help you get connected. He's going to support you. He is going to do everything that he can to make sure that you start your company, you grow your company, and you have the resources you need to do so. So, Blake, thank you for being a part of CreatorCon and sponsoring again this year. UVA Wise, Chancellor Donna Henry, thank you for being involved this year and sponsoring. Shannon Blevins, thank you. Randall, what's his last name? Randall Rose. Thank you so much for leading Blake's team at Opportunity Southwest Virginia and Economic Development at UVA Wise. Amazing stuff. What's the best way to connect with you, Blake?
Just connect with me over email. bsallier@uvawise.edu.
There you
Shoot
go.
me an email. Best way to do it.
He has given out his personal email, and people should take advantage of that.
Work email.
Personal work email. And the website for Opportunity Southwest Virginia is opportunityswva.org. You can also fill out a form there to connect as well.
That's right. Yep.
And you can look at some of the other resources that are available in the region. Do it. You will not be upset. Okay, Blake. Thanks, dude. Have a great rest of the week. I'll see you sometime next year. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, man.
I'll see you before that.
Really.
Also, Lincoln Road Coffee, we've got some announcements coming up. So y'all just hang on to that. If you're in the deep end, Lincoln Road is coming out with some dope stuff. So be on the lookout.
Be ready.
Be ready. Okay. Bye, Blake.